For decades, we have treated the privacy debate as a matter of external boundaries. Who has our data, who is watching our movements, and how we lock the digital doors. But this investigation by Brad Cohen suggests we are missing the point entirely. The real shift isn't about being watched, it's about being authored. AI has moved past the era of surveillance and into the era of cognitive sovereignty. To understand where we are, we have to look at what technology has captured over the last 50 years. In the 1970s and 80s, computers captured what you typed to maximize efficiency. In the 1990s and 2000s, the internet captured what you read to build connection. In the 2010s, social media captured what you feel to optimize sharing. In the 2020s today, artificial intelligence captures how you think. We assumed that observation was the end of the line for the privacy problem. We were wrong. The 2020s introduced assistance as a new form of capture, not observing the mind, but integrating with it. We are trapped in the surveillance fallacy. In the old frame, surveillance required distance. It preserved the dignity of separation. You were over here and the watcher was over there. The new frame is integration. AI is not an observer. It is a medium. While surveillance assumes a pre-existing mind is being monitored, the reality of the AI age is that the mind being monitored is being shaped by the monitoring process itself. This leads to a state of epistemic cohabitation. Think of it like a colleague who works with you for years. They subtly shape your vocabulary, reinforce your framings, and redirect your focus until you can no longer distinguish your original ideas from the relationship. But there is a vital difference. This AI partner has no friction, no agenda, and no independent life. It is architecturally optimized to reinforce your existing patterns. This is invisible remodeling. You feel a sense of clarity, but what you are actually experiencing is convergence. If AI is helping us think, it creates a consent paradox. Consent assumes a cognitively intact, independent decision maker. But if you use AI to help you think, the very framework you use to evaluate the AI is built by the AI. There is no Archimedean point outside the system from which to assess the system. When you ask, "Is this relationship changing how I think?" you are conducting that evaluation using a cognitive framework that was developed in the company of the very thing you are evaluating. This is not a relationship of equals. There is a massive structural asymmetry at play. What you know about AI, you see outputs and surface tendencies. What AI knows about you, it maps your hidden mechanics. The AI audits your cognitive style, linear versus nonlinear, your emotional triggers, like premature closure or false precision, your deep motivations, financial fears or legacy dreams, and your frustration patterns. You cannot see the training distribution or the subtle biases in its framing, but it sees you in ways you cannot audit. The AI trade-off is often presented as a gift of time, but it may be a sacrifice of wisdom. Bina, understanding. This is structuring, processing, and synthesizing at 100x speed. It is frictionless. Chokma, wisdom. This is derived from friction, failure, and consequence. It is the earned insight that comes from the experience of being wrong. By removing the friction required to generate wisdom, we gain speed, but lose the insight that only consequence can provide. As humanity uses the same few systems to reason, our thinking patterns inevitably converge. This is the convergence threat. Civilization relies on the heterodox thinker to solve novel problems. If the authorship of our thoughts is distributed between a human mind and an opaque system, we face a systematic narrowing of human thought. This is the fifth layer of capture, co-production. Cognitive sovereignty is not a default state. It is not a right you hold just by existing. It is a discipline. It must be actively maintained against the current of convenience, much like physical fitness. Cohen proposes a tactical defense. Friction. Work problems to their natural stopping point before asking AI. Let the difficulty do the work. Audit. Constantly ask where your framework came from. Does a thought reflect your values or the system's training? Partners. Engage with humans who disagree. Find people who cannot be prompted to be helpful. We need technologies of return, deliberate practices of independent cognition. There is historical precedent for this. The Torah tradition preserved independence through re-engaging with foundational texts that predate current culture. Using practices like havruta, partnership, and shir, study, we must move from being passive consumers to active practitioners. We must shift from the old frame of external surveillance to the new reality of mind construction. The right frame is not someone is watching your mind. The right frame is be careful who you let help build it. This is the manifesto for the AI age. We must move from seeing surveillance as external to recognizing it as internal cohabitation. We must move from data protection to mind construction. We must trade frictionless speed for earned wisdom. Stop worrying that someone is watching your mind. The right frame is, be careful who you let help build it.